So I think AI is going to have a huge impact in everybody's life, from day to day to work and things that we do. I think each of us have a huge responsibility in terms of how we make AI work for good and the ethics of how AI will work for everybody. So we have a huge responsibility, and I'm looking forward to how AI can help everybody.
I think AI will empower the 1 billion people with disabilities on the planet.
I believe that the applied use of machine learning in scenarios like predictive maintenance will help save people and the environment from disasters.
I think AI will save lives by enabling self-driving vehicles to be trained in simulated environments before they ever hit the road.
I think AI will change our lives in a profound way. Because if you look around, every aspect of our life is being digitized.
I think AI will be used heavily in healthcare and help save lives.
I think AI will help feed the poor by providing better predictions into when to grow crops. And
I think AI will help people to create more smarter reports and applications.
I think AI will make AI easier to develop. Microsoft Research figured out a way to use machine learning to develop machine learning models. It's called automated ML, and it's now part of Azure.
I think AI will help us predict crop yields to be able to better manage agriculture, detect animals in mounted camera traps to be able to aid in conservation, and utilize satellite imagery to be able to recognize patterns and how we can best fight climate change.
I think AI will continue to push the boundaries of what we can do with technology, giving developers the opportunity to grow a skill set in this exciting area over time. I believe though to get started, we've got to start building right now. I'm really keen to help developers and data scientists to achieve this.
Welcome to the Global AI Night 2019, hosted in 47 venues around the world. A full night of learning about AI, organized by the Microsoft communities around the world. We hope you have an awesome night.
Welcome to the Global AI Night. My name is Henk, and I'm joined today by Francisca, Eric, and Seth.
How's it going, bud?
Thank you.
Hi. Eric, how can developers leverage from AI at the moment?
Man, there's so many ways developers can leverage AI. There's a whole suite of cognitive services that developers can really engage with and just get started right from there without really even having to understand the underpinnings of how to go and build a model. But if they'd like to go deeper, there are lots of ways, using things like automated machine learning where they can go and build models, again, without a lot of depth of understanding that they need. They don't have to be AI experts, but they can figure out how can they build a model off the data sets that they have, and then from there really learn how to go deeper from that. So there's so many ways that they can go and engage with the different tools that we have.
Francisca, what do you think?
Yes, I think that if you were an AI developer, let's say 10 years ago, you really needed to build and train your neural networks from scratch. I completely agree with Eric. Right now you have what I call the modern AI stack that is based on two main components. The first one is infrastructure, that is really the environment where you have all the tools to build your machine learning models. And the second one is the developer environment, that is the environment where you have all the capabilities to bring out AI capabilities. So there is really the place where AI developers can work and they really make AI system based on machine learning tools.
That is really good. Seth, do you have something to add?
Absolutely, I always have something to say. I totally agree with the stack. If it wasn't for the stack that we have now in AI, we wouldn't be able to do some of the cool stuff. But sometimes as developers, we wonder, what can I actually do? And so I like to look at the algorithms where you're changing numbers, like from a 0.5 to 0.7 to get it to work, or you're adding if statements. If you have something that I like to call a squishy algorithm, maybe it's time to start thinking about how AI can help you and how the new stack, the new AI stack, can actually help you be more productive so you don't have to do that kind of dirty coding and take a shower afterwards.
That said, I'd say, as you said, Hank, it really all starts with developers too. And so I definitely want to take a moment to thank everyone who's come to, participate in this for taking the time to learn AI and for really looking at how they can use it in their day-to-day lives. It all starts with developers.
Eric, you mentioned quite a few Azure AI services. Can you share a little bit about the latest and greatest that is currently being developed?
Absolutely. So there are a couple of things that we have that have just sort of really sort of push past key milestones. One of them is the anomaly detector service that we have that's coming in preview, and so we've just announced that in preview. This is a service that we built it internally to detect really variations in Bing revenue and things like that, and have found it so useful that it's really easy to just feed any stream of data and really highlight these are the points where, hey, it looks like the pattern changed, something's different here, really easy to engage with. Another is the custom vision service, which has also gone GA. And so this is a service where you can take, I want to be able to tell Diet Coke or Coke or, distinguish finer grain than an out-of-the-box vision service. I can upload some images and help train a model based on that. And so that's also just recently gone GA.
And Seth, do you have anything to share for developers?
I absolutely love, if you're trying to get into AI, the best thing to do is to use cognitive services. Out of the box, you get you leverage all of the best of AI that we built with some of the data that we have, which is really amazing. But again, if you want to build your own bespoke kind of thing, we also have the Azure Machine Learning Service, which we GA'd just recently at Connect, I think last fall. And if you haven't been able to look at it, some people have told me they're very excited about having a shared environment where all data scientists can work on the same compute. They don't know that, if you don't know about containers, that's okay, but we run them in containers, which means that you can run the same experiment the same way, get reproducibility. It's pretty amazing what you can do. Before, I used to have to rent the supercomputer, between 3 and 4 in the morning because I was an undergrad. But now you have the power of the cloud and you can leverage all of the assets in the cloud to do really powerful bespoke AI as well.
That is really cool. And Francisca, you have been teaching that Azure Machine Learning Service.
Yes, so one of my favorite features is actually hyperparameter optimization in Azure Machine Learning Service. As you might know, hyperparameters is about selecting the right parameters during the training. For example, if you have neural networks, you have to decide the number of hidden layers or the number of nodes in each layer. So it's a very time-consuming and complex process. And now Azure Machine Learning Service actually automates that process for you and actually suggests you the best solution for your machine learning or deep learning model, which I think it's amazing. Another, I think, a very cool feature that Microsoft is offering right now is actually in Visual Studio Code, is IntelliCode. That is actually a nice feature because you can use AI to write AI. So it suggests you what you're going to use next. And this recommendation system is based on more than 1,000 open source projects on GitHub. And all those projects have about 100 stars. So this is really a way of using AI and also collaborating with your developers community.
With AI moving so fast, some people have questions around ethics. What are your thoughts about it?
So I think that the design of every AI system should start with the choice of the training data. So training data, as you know, should be representative of the world in which we live, or at least of part of the population that is where the AI system is working on. I think that researchers should find ways to identify and also try to address some fairness and bias issues related to AI. Probably 3 suggestions that I have in top of my minds are the fact that they should build the AI system with a systematic evaluation of training data set and also the fitting and the quality of the model that they are building. Always involvement of domain experts, so always keep the humans in the loop. Those humans should be expert of the data and the industry that the AI system is going to operate in. And finally, I think that there should be always a robust feedback system so that you are going to give your users ways to interact and to give you immediate feedback. And also for you is going to be a way to listen to your users so that if there are any issues, you can address them quickly.
I think Francesca addressed all of those issues beautifully, so I'm not even going to add to it. It's that amazing. What I would like to say is that I worry about people anthropomorphizing AI and making I hate when people think that it's thinking or doing something, because it's basically a product of the data you give it. And if we don't do all of the things that Francesca is suggesting that we do, if your data is bad, then it will make bad choices. But it has no feelings, it has no thoughts. I think we're very far away from generalized style of AI. Right now we have very specific tasks that computers are very good at. But again, if we don't address the issues that Francesca brought up, we're going to have some challenges. And we were talking earlier about some of the stuff Microsoft is trying to do. as well.
No, I mean, we've thought a lot about this issue. I mean, we hear from all of our customers about how they're concerned about the uses of AI and they want to make sure it's being used responsibly. And Francesca actually touched on a number of the principles that we've used to guide all of our actions. We've published a set of AI principles around fairness and transparency and eliminating bias and things like that. And we use those principles in how we build our products. And so we ensure the customer's data remains the customer's data, unable to be used for other things. And we use those really guiding us all throughout how we build our products and really helps ensure that we're doing the best we can to make sure that AI remains, fair, unbiased, and ethical as people use it.
Over the past few weeks, we have been talking to many people at Microsoft and asking them one question. And I would like to answer you that same question. And the question is to complete a sentence. And the sentence is, I think AI will. So Francesca, what do you think?
I would like to be optimistic and positive, so I really think that AI will help us solve many societal challenges. For example, I'm thinking about serving more than 1 billion of the people in the world that have disabilities. For example, here at Microsoft, we have an application that is called Seeing AI, who is helping people with low vision or blindness to navigate their everyday life.
Yeah, I think at Microsoft, we want to empower every person and organization on the planet to achieve more. And I feel like AI is really going to do that. There's a lot of tasks that we humans do that are menial, like we have to look at a paper and then circle something, and we have to do that 1,000 times. AI can do that. And what it's going to do is it's going to free our human ingenuity in such a way that the tasks that were considered we don't have to use too much thought for, the computers can do, and then we can elevate ourselves as a society. We can help those that perhaps need assistance to do other things. Like, I just love the idea of computers taking over certain tasks that we don't need to do anymore, and I feel like AI will help us with that.
No, I really agree, and I think this is such a great question. Just to tap into the optimism that we have with AI. I think AI is going to transform the way every business works and the way every person, interacts with things in all of their life. I mean, we have so much work to do to really achieve that ambition. But, I just think AI is it's going to make everything better, and that's what we have to sort of live up to that potential. But that said, like here at Microsoft as Azure AI, I really want to thank, Hank for organizing this and for putting this together, and really everyone, all the MVPs. It's really your participation and your feedback that really helps drive us forward. So please keep it coming, and we're really looking to, let's go change the world together. Thanks for all your help with that.
Thank you for joining and taking the time out of your schedule. I really appreciate that. Thank you all for joining and watching this keynote, and have a fantastic event.